There is a moment in every life when the truth becomes impossible to ignore, a moment when you realize that waiting has cost you more than failure ever could, and that moment arrives when you finally accept that no one is coming to save you. This is not a cruel statement, and it is not meant to discourage you. It is meant to wake you up. Because as long as you believe someone else is responsible for fixing your situation, you give away the most valuable thing you have, your power. Power does not come from circumstances improving or people changing. It comes from ownership, from standing in front of the mirror and saying without excuses or drama, "This is my life and I am responsible for where it is going." The day you accept that truth, everything shifts. You stop asking why things happen to you and you start asking what you're going to do about them. You stop replaying the past and you start focusing on the work in front of you. You stop waiting for motivation, approval, or permission, and you begin to move with intention. Because waiting is easy, anyone can wait, but waiting builds nothing. Responsibility builds everything. When you believe someone is coming to save you, you delay your growth. You stay comfortable in your excuses. You convince yourself that the right opportunity, the right timing, or the right support will suddenly appear and change your direction. But life does not work that way. Life responds to action, not hope. And the longer you wait, the more time slips away quietly. Time does not argue with you. It does not warn you. It simply moves on. And one day you wake up and realize the cost of waiting was your own potential. That realization can hurt, but pain is not the enemy. Avoiding responsibility is. Pain can teach you. Responsibility can transform you. Excuses do neither. Accepting that no one is coming to save you does not mean you reject help or support. It means you stop depending on it. It means you become the foundation you were waiting for. You become the discipline you hope to find. You become the consistency you wished someone else would bring into your life. That shift changes how you carry yourself. You no longer move like someone hoping to be rescued. You move like someone prepared to do the work. And that work is not glamorous. It does not always feel good. It often feels lonely, but loneliness in discipline is better than comfort and regret. Ownership demands honesty. It asks you to confront the habits you avoid talking about, the routines you keep breaking, the promises you keep postponing. It asks you to stop blaming circumstances and start correcting behavior. And that takes courage, not loud courage, quiet courage. The kind that wakes up early, the kind that keeps going when no one is watching, the kind that does not announce itself but shows up consistently. Because when you take responsibility, you realize that confidence is not something you wait for. It is something you build by doing hard things repeatedly. When you stop waiting to be saved, you stop living as a victim of time and start living as a participant in your own life. You understand that the past cannot be changed, but the present is always asking for your effort. And effort, when applied daily, becomes direction. Direction becomes progress. And progress, no matter how slow, restores your self-respect. And once you have self-respect, you stop negotiating with your standards. You stop accepting less. You stop wasting time. You stand firmer, speak clearer, and move with purpose. So understand this clearly and carry it with you. No one is coming to save you, and that is exactly why you can save yourself. Through hope alone, not through motivation, but through discipline, responsibility, and daily action. The moment you stop waiting is the moment your life begins to move forward. There comes a time when you have to stop asking yourself why you don't feel motivated and start asking yourself whether you are disciplined, because motivation has never been the thing that carries a person through the hard seasons of life. Motivation is a spark, and sparks are useful, but they burn out quickly. Discipline is the fire that keeps going when the spark is gone. Discipline is what shows up on the days when you feel tired, uncertain, uninspired, and unrecognized. And those days matter more than the good ones, because those are the days that decide who you become. Anyone can move when they feel inspired. Very few people move when they don't. And that difference is not talent, it is discipline. Motivation is emotional. It depends on how you feel when you wake up, how yesterday went, how people treated you, or how confident you are in that moment. And emotions change. Some days you feel strong, other days you don't. If your progress depends on motivation, your life will move forward only in short bursts, followed by long pauses. That kind of movement never builds momentum. Discipline is different. Discipline does not ask how you feel. Discipline asks what needs to be done. It is a decision you make in advance, long before comfort, fear, or doubt try to negotiate with you. When you are disciplined, you remove emotion from the equation and replace it with commitment. Discipline is not punishment. It is not about being hard on yourself or living without joy. Discipline is respect. It is the way you tell yourself that your future matters more than your comfort in the moment. Every time you do the work without feeling like it, you strengthen something inside you that motivation can never build. You build reliability. You build trust with yourself. And that trust becomes quiet confidence. Not the kind that needs approval, but the kind that knows you will show up no matter what. That kind of confidence changes how you walk through life. When motivation fades, excuses get louder, you start telling yourself you will start tomorrow, next week, or when things feel easier. But easy rarely leads anywhere meaningful. Discipline teaches you how to move forward even when things are heavy. It teaches you how to keep promises to yourself even when no one is watching. And every promise kept strengthens your character. Every promise broken weakens it. Over time, this adds up. This is how people lose faith in themselves, not in one big moment, but in small, repeated decisions to delay the work. Discipline creates freedom. That may sound backwards, but it is true. When you are disciplined, your life is no longer controlled by moods, distractions, or circumstances. You gain control over your time, your energy, and your direction. You stop drifting, you stop reacting, you start moving intentionally, and intention is what separates progress from motion. Motion can be busy, progress is focused. You don't rise to the level of your motivation, you fall to the level of your discipline. And the good news is discipline is learnable. It is built through repetition, through doing the small, uncomfortable things consistently, through choosing effort when comfort is available, through showing up again after a bad day instead of using it as an excuse to quit. That is how strength is developed. Not all at once, but daily. So stop waiting to feel motivated. Stop waiting to feel ready. Decide who you are going to be and let discipline carry you there. Because motivation may start the journey, but discipline is the only thing that finishes it. Most people misunderstand where character is truly formed. They think it is built in moments of recognition, in times when effort is praised or results are visible. But character is not shaped in the spotlight. It is shaped in silence. It is formed in the hours when no one is watching, when there is no reward waiting at the end of the day, when the only witness to your effort is you. And those quiet moments matter more than any public success because they determine who you are when circumstances test you. Silence removes performance. When no one is around, there is no image to protect, no applause to chase, no reputation to manage. What remains is your relationship with yourself. In those moments, your habits speak louder than your intentions. Your discipline reveals itself honestly. And that honesty can be uncomfortable because it exposes the gap between who you say you want to be and how you actually live. But that discomfort is valuable. It is an invitation to grow. Character is built through repetition, not through intensity. It is built by doing the right thing again and again, even when it feels small, even when it feels unnoticed. Waking up early when no one is there to see it. Preparing when shortcuts are available. Choosing restraint when indulgence is easier. These choices may seem insignificant on their own, but over time they define your standards, and your standards define your life. You do not rise to your intentions, you fall to your habits. In silence, excuses have nowhere to hide. There is no one else to blame, no audience to convince. You either do the work or you don't, and every time you choose not to do it, you teach yourself something about what you are willing to tolerate. Every time you choose to follow through, you teach yourself something stronger, that you can be trusted. Trust in yourself is the foundation of confidence. Not loud confidence, but steady confide. The kind that does not panic when things go wrong. The kind that does not fold under pressure. The kind that has been tested privately long before it is tested publicly. Silence is also where integrity lives. Integrity is not about what you say or how you appear. It is about alignment. It is about doing the same thing when no one is watching as you would do if everyone were watching. That alignment gives you peace. It allows you to move through life without carrying the weight of pretense. And peace is powerful. It gives you clarity. It gives you focus. It gives you the strength to keep going when recognition is absent and results are delayed. Many people quit in silence because they mistake it for failure. They think if no one notices, it doesn't matter. But silence is not a sign that your effort is wasted. It is proof that your effort is pure. It means you are building something real, something that does not depend on external validation. And that kind of foundation lasts. When challenges come, when pressure rises, when expectations increase, the person who has done the silent work stands firm. They are not surprised by difficulty because they have already met themselves in harder moments. Character is not dramatic. It does not announce itself. It reveals itself over time through consistency, through the quiet decision to show up again, through the refusal to cut corners even when no one would know, through the patience to keep going without immediate reward. And one day, often without warning, that character becomes visible. Not because you demanded recognition, but because life demanded strength. So do not underestimate the power of what you do in silence. That is where your real reputation is formed. That is where your future self is being shaped. And if you are willing to keep doing the work when no one is watching, you will become someone who does not need to be seen to know your worth. Self-respect is not something you talk yourself into, and it is not something the world hands you as a reward. Self-respect is built slowly and deliberately through the promises you keep to yourself. Every commitment you make is a quiet agreement with your own character, and every time you follow through, you strengthen that agreement. Every time you don't, you weaken it. Over time, these small decisions shape the way you see yourself, and the way you see yourself determines how you move through life. Most people think confidence comes first and action follows, but the truth is the opposite. Action creates confidence. And not just any action, consistent action that aligns with what you said you would do. When you tell yourself you will do something and then you do it, even when it is inconvenient or uncomfortable, you send yourself a powerful message that you are reliable. That reliability becomes trust, and trust in yourself is the foundation of self-respect. Without it, no amount of praise or success can fill the gap. Broken promises to yourself are quiet but damaging. They don't cause a dramatic collapse, they cause erosion. You tell yourself you will start tomorrow, and tomorrow passes. You tell yourself this time will be different, and it isn't. Each time you teach yourself that your words don't carry weight, and eventually, without realizing it, you stop believing yourself. That is where hesitation begins. That is where doubt takes root. Not because you are incapable, but because you have trained yourself not to follow through. Keeping commitments is not about perfection. You will miss days. You will stumble. You will fall short. Self-respect is not built by never failing. It is built by responding to failure with accountability instead of excuses. It is built by getting back up and returning to the work without self-pity. Discipline is not about punishment. It is about alignment. It is about bringing your actions back into agreement with your values. And every time you do that, you restore a little more trust in yourself. The commitments that matter most are often the ones no one else knows about. The early mornings, the preparation behind closed doors, the decisions to stop cutting corners, these moments don't earn applause, but they earn something far more valuable: inner stability. When you respect yourself, you don't need constant reassurance. You don't chase approval. You don't bend your standards to fit someone else's expectations. You move with a calm certainty because you know the work you've put in. Self-respect also changes what you tolerate. When you keep your word to yourself, you stop accepting situations that drain you or diminish you. You become clearer about your boundaries, not out of arrogance, but out of awareness. You know what it took to build your discipline, and you protect it. You understand that every compromise has a cost, and you become more intentional about which costs you are willing to pay. This kind of self-respect creates resilience. When life applies pressure, you don't collapse, because you are standing on a foundation you built yourself. You have evidence. You have history. You know you can endure discomfort and still move forward. That knowledge cannot be taken from you because it was earned privately through repetition and resolve. So if you want to change how you feel about yourself, don't start with affirmations. Start with action. Make a promise you can keep, and then keep it. Do it again the next day, and the day after that. Over time, those small acts of integrity will reshape your identity. You will no longer need to convince yourself of your worth. You will know it because you lived it. People often believe that change requires a dramatic moment, a surge of energy, a powerful decision that flips everything at once. But real progress rarely announces itself that way. It moves quietly, steadily, almost unnoticed, built through consistency rather than intensity. Intensity feels impressive. It looks strong at the beginning, but it is unstable. It burns fast and fades just as quickly. Consistency, on the other hand, is patient. It does not rush. It keeps showing up long after enthusiasm has left the room. Anyone can work hard for a short period of time. Anyone can be disciplined for a day or a week when emotions are high. But growth is not measured by how strong you start. It is measured by how long you can sustain the effort. Consistency is what turns effort into results. It is what allows small actions to compound into something meaningful. One disciplined day does not change a life. Hundreds of disciplined days do. Intensity depends on mood. It depends on confidence, excitement, or pressure. And when those feelings disappear, so does the effort. Consistency is different. It is not emotional, it is structured, it is built into your routine. When something becomes part of your routine, it no longer requires negotiation. You don't debate whether or not to show up, you simply do. And that simplicity removes resistance. It reduces excuses. It keeps you moving forward even when progress feels slow. Slow progress discourages many people. They want immediate results. They want proof that their effort is working. But consistency teaches patience. It teaches you to trust the process even when results lag behind effort. And that patience is a form of strength. It allows you to stay committed without needing constant reassurance. Over time, the gap between effort and outcome closes, but only for those who stay long enough to see it. Consistency also builds identity. When you do something regularly, it becomes part of who you are. You no longer say you are trying, you say you are doing. This shift matters. When your actions align with your identity, discipline becomes easier. You are no longer forcing yourself to act against your nature, you are reinforcing it. And that alignment creates momentum. Intensity often leads to burnout. People push too hard, too fast, and when they inevitably crash, they feel like failures. Consistency avoids this trap. It respects limits. It values sustainability over spectacle. It understands that lasting change requires balance, not extremes. The person who improves steadily may not attract attention early, but they will be standing strong when others have quit. Consistency also builds resilience. When you show up daily, you learn how to work through discomfort. You learn that bad days don't require quitting. They require adjustment. You learn that progress does not disappear because of one misstep. It is restored through return. And this ability to return again and again is what separates those who grow from those who give up. So if you are serious about progress, stop chasing intensity. Stop waiting for the perfect surge of motivation. Commit to small, repeatable actions and protect them. Let your effort be quiet. Let your progress be slow. Because consistency does not just create results, it creates stability. And stability is what allows growth to last. Many people spend their lives searching for purpose as if it is something hidden, somewhere outside of them, waiting to be discovered at the right moment. They look for it in circumstances, in opportunities, and other people's expectations. But purpose does not arrive on its own. It is not found by waiting. It is built through responsibility and action. The moment you begin to take responsibility for your life, your time, and your effort, purpose starts to take shape. Not as a grand idea, but as a direction. Responsibility gives structure to your days. It forces you to decide what matters and what does not. When you accept responsibility, you stop drifting. You stop blaming circumstances and start making choices. And choice is the beginning of purpose. Purpose is not about knowing everything in advance. It is about committing to do the work in front of you with intention. When you do that consistently, meaning follows. Action is what gives responsibility weight. Without action, responsibility is just a concept. Action turns intention into reality. Every time you act with discipline, you reinforce the idea that your life is worth effort. And that effort accumulates. It shapes your skills. It sharpens your focus. It strengthens your character. Over time, these elements come together and form something solid. That is purpose. Not a feeling, but a commitment. Purpose grows when you stop asking what you want and start asking what is required of you. Required by your potential. Required by your responsibilities. Required by the life you say you want to build. These questions are not always comfortable, but they are honest. And honesty is essential for growth. When you act from responsibility instead of impulse, your decisions gain clarity. You become less reactive and more deliberate. You move with direction instead of confusion. There will be days when purpose feels distant, days when the work feels repetitive or heavy. Those days test whether your commitment is real. Purpose is not proven when things are exciting. It is proven when things are routine, when no one is watching, when progress is slow, when the outcome is uncertain. Continuing to act responsibly in those moments strengthens your resolve. It teaches you that meaning is not dependent on circumstances. Responsibility also connects you to something larger than yourself. When you take your role seriously, whether in your work, your growth, or your commitments, you contribute value. And contribution creates fulfillment. Fulfillment is deeper than happiness. It is the quiet satisfaction of knowing you showed up and did what needed to be done. That feeling cannot be manufactured. It must be earned. Purpose is reinforced through consistency. Each disciplined action becomes a brick. Each day of effort adds weight. Over time, what started as simple responsibility becomes a clear path. You may not see the full picture at first, but direction becomes evident through movement. Stillness breeds doubt. Action creates clarity. So stop waiting for purpose to reveal itself. Take responsibility for your time. Act with intention. Do the work that is in front of you today and keep doing it tomorrow. Purpose will meet you there, not as a sudden revelation, but as something you have built with your own hands through effort, discipline, and commitment.